Yo, what's good out there, world? Welcome to this edition of Baking with tradeMarc. And today I'm going to be making a homemade, made from scratch, peach cobbler pound cake. And the ingredients are as follows. I'm going to be using 3 cups of this Swan's Down cake flour. You can also use all-purpose flour if you want to use that. I'm going to be using 2 cups of the Domino sugar, 1 cup of Domino light brown sugar. I have some Domino's confectioner's sugar. This is going to be for my glaze. And a little fun fact, but it's not really funny. But the Domino sugar plant is here in Baltimore, and last week it actually caught fire. And it was a bad burn. All right, so also I'm going to be using 24 ounces of this Del Monte sliced peaches. I'm going to be using 3/4 cup of whole milk. I have 3 sticks of salted butter at room temperature. I'm going to be using 6 eggs at room temperature. I'm going to be using 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and also 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of vanilla and also 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I have my Baker's Joy and I have my bundt pan right here, and my utensils I'm going to be using. I got my stand mixer with the paddle attachment. I got my measuring cups and my measuring spoons. And back there I have my utensils. So let's get to this homemade peach cobbler pound cake made by tradeMarc, made from scratch. So now let's get to the mix. In my mixer I have my 3 sticks of salted butter at room temperature and my 2 cups of sugar. And I'm going to mix this on a high speed until it becomes creamy. I'm going to stop my mixer halfway through, and I'm going to do a quick wipe down. Always remember to scrape your mixing bowl down to make sure everything get mixed. And I'm going to put this back on a high mixing speed out for another. Okay, I'll let this mix bowl for 6 minutes. And this is the texture that I want. But always, like I said, you want to scrape our sides down. And next thing we're going to do is add our eggs. I'm going to put it on medium speed, and I'm going to put in 1 egg at a time. So now I'm about to add in my flour and my milk. So here's my flour here, and I already added the baking soda in. And here's my milk. I already added a little vanilla. That's why it looked brown, because I added the vanilla into my whole milk. So we want to add a little milk, and we're going to add in some flour. We're going to turn it up just a little bit. Sorry about that. And I'm going to add in the rest of my milk and the rest of my flour. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit so I can get a thorough mix. Halfway through the mix, I want to wipe my bowl down. And I'm going to continue this mix. So here's my final mix. So let's now get to the peach cobbler mix. So right here, I have like a can and a half of sliced peaches, and I actually took the sliced peaches and I cut them in half some more. So now I'm going to be using like a half a cup of this light brown sugar. I'm going to add in my teaspoon of nutmeg, and I'm going to also add in my teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm going to give this a nice mix to is nice and thoroughly incorporated. And I'm dropping peaches on the floor. And you don't really want the juice. You just want enough juice so it can like mix thoroughly together. But you don't want a lot of juice to make your cake all wet. And this is a thorough mix right here. So here you go, my mix right here. I already sprayed my pan down. So I'm gonna get this in here. And let me spread this around nice and evenly. So now I'm ready to take the cake mix and I want to spoon it out with my spatula. So right here we got tradeMarc's homemade peach cobbler pound cake. I took it out the oven. I let it cool before I flipped. I threw some brown sugar on top of it, and I'm actually watching it melt down into the cake because the cake is still warm. So right here I have I just made a quick glaze, and this is just 2 cups of confectioner sugar. I use 2 tablespoons of butter, and I also use 4 tablespoons of milk. And I'm just going to drizzle it all over the cake. Make sure I just get it all over. And here is my finished product.